guys. Okay. Well, so we have, as we can see, we have Trump, Iowa caucus winning 56,260 votes. DeSantis 23,420. I mean, that's not even half of what Trump got. That was 21.2%. Then you have Haley, 21,085. I mean, she really is not likable. I think the more people see her, the more they are going to realize she's not likable. DeSantis, he's likable, I suppose. I don't like some of his policies that he's put forth in Florida. I think he's done a good job for Floridians. I'm not in Florida. Obviously, I'm in Wisconsin. On crutches in I think it's about 14, negative 14 Fahrenheit on like ice snowbanks. It's not snow, it's like ice banks with crutches trying to open my car for 3 days, which I've never had before. Very strange weather modification. Okay, so then we have Vivek at 8,000 votes. I could have gotten 8,000 votes if I went down there and campaigned. I mean, he never changed his clothes. And he didn't try to put himself together, and he complained and bitched about how much he was working and shit like that, and how he did like 10 calls a day or something, or 8 or 5. And it's kind of like I when I did pretty much cold call sales all over the state and the UP and Rockford, Illinois. If I didn't do, especially during the summer, okay, I mean, he was expecting me out the door starting as soon as the offices opened up, because I was calling on doctors, mainly orthopedic surgeons, and he would expect me to do about 8 to 10 a day. And if that meant a 1 hour presentation, that's fine. If that meant finally getting in my car and driving home at 6 at night and driving 2 hours home and then getting up, it was just sort of like that. Now, luckily, I was able to take a little bit of a different approach to how I did things. And so I kind of just avoided him during the day and let him do his thing, because he was getting medical device FDA approved, and he was working on the PMA studies. And so, but for me, if I had like 3 surgeries a day, set up a lunch presentation, brought cookies or snacks, and set up another brief presentation for another office, then dropped off more info. I mean, I was doing that all the time. And I had to time one surgery. If I was like drive from Milwaukee to Madison, do a surgery, get my stuff, get it flashed, take it to my instruments, and take it to the next. My implants that I had were sterile. It's okay. So, but then I'd have instrumentation that I had to make sure was sterile. And then I'd have to have it flashed, take it to the next location, and they would flash it again. And I would go for my next surgery. And I just remember one summer where everything was just falling into place, and I was getting so much business, and people liked me. And I just remember driving like 90 miles an hour in this Honda, and I remember looking at the speedometer, and I mean, I did get a couple of really bad tickets, I'll tell you that. I ended up getting a fuzzbuster. Well, I had 2 or 3 of them. I kept wearing them out, or the cold would just freeze them out. I mean, I had to do it. Then I finally got one ticket where it really scared the shit out of me, and I had to get a lawyer. That was funny. And I haven't sped since. And that was maybe 20 years ago. That was about 18 years ago, and I don't speed anymore. But the speed limit was 55. So then they raised it. This is what I'm saying. Vivek doesn't know what hard work is. I know Trump does. And that after almost 20 years of that, it was really getting hard on me and my marriage for that matter. Although, everyone loved me bringing in the money, right? So, because, someone needed something, someone wanted to go on a trip, oh, yeah, no problem, uh, I paid, eh, so people like that, they like to know that they've got someone to fall back on. This is what I'm saying. Vivek, he has money from his mama. He has money from scamming people from a hedge fund and doing a pump and dump on a stock trade on a faulty drug that was killing old people. Okay. If Trump picks him as his running mate, because I don't trust him. People from India don't like the Palestinian people. You have them in there right now, fighting savagely to kill them in the war in Gaza. Yeah, I mean, I could get into that. So I knew that he'd go nowhere. You can't, if you have a room with like 8 people and you've got your pizza laid out and your beer, and then one of your Twitter videos is showing you have a debate with an LGBTQ woman, it's pretty boring. And you could just tell everybody in the room was just kind of looking sloppy and fat and drunkish and fat Americans. Vivek thinks hard work is, and he never changed. I don't even know if he showered. And people, oh, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with you? So what if he's got the same thing on? Well, you know what? If you read any books on business and presenting yourself as a positive image forward, him trying to be one of the boys in Iowa or wherever else he was campaigning on his bus, he wasn't even driving it. And he hired a crew and all that, and then he'd show pictures of his wife and kids, and I don't even know what religion he is. We've got, I don't know. I know the founding fathers weren't from India. Is that racist? I don't know. He's first generation from here. His parents, he doesn't have my dad was in the Marine Corps. Okay. Tough. His mom who worked for the Department of Justice, was going to get him a job as a U.S. Marshal. And he said, I can make more money doing this. And he did. And was very, very numbers oriented and math and geometry. He always kind of creating things and creating wealth for himself by working hard. So no, I don't see Vivek as, he sounded more like a crybaby, like a typical millennial / Gen Z crybaby. He tried to appeal to people. I don't think he did. Nikki Haley just isn't likable. DeSantis, he should not have burned bridges with Trump. I would say he would be the most palatable running mate. Any other of these other people, Nikki Haley or Vivek, I wouldn't know. I don't know. For sure, I wouldn't. He can't pick Nikki Haley unless he's being bribed again or being blackmailed by the RNC, by that stupid Ronna McDaniel. Okay, so I don't know how long this vid's going to be up, because I'm just kind of throwing it together. But I mean, I told you, I said, you can't win an election with 8 people in a room. You're not getting traction. You're not doing the right things. I was right. So I'll keep going on this. But I don't know. I do not want him as running mate. Just take DeSantis, bite the bullet. That's my thought.